You know that creating blog articles for your business is important, but creating high quality blog articles is hard. You either need to hire an expensive copywriter or take your chances with AI. And if you do use AI, you'll often have a lot of work to do yourself to edit each article into a usable state. Article Hero is here to solve this problem. I've taken over a decade of experience of creating blog articles for my own brands and built it into a simple tool that anyone can use. With Article Hero, you'll get comprehensive articles with competitor research structures, smart internal linking, credible external sources, and supporting images and videos. It only takes a few minutes to create each article, and instead of a weak AI draft, you'll get a strong first version which will save you a ton of editing time. And most importantly, you'll have articles that people enjoy reading and search engines will rank. In this video, I want to show you the process of creating an article. So let's dive in. So to start the article creation process off, we want to enter a title for our article. I've got a title of the State of Web Design in 2025. This is just a starting point because we'll be given some title suggestions further down this process so we can refine the title then. The next thing we want to do is add a keyword or a phrase. And this is something that people would type into a search engine if they were looking for an article similar to what we're looking to create here. So I can either type that in or I can create with AI. And AI has returned Web Design Trends 2025, which I think fits pretty well. We can edit that, but I'm happy to roll with that. So the next thing we want to do is to write the article description. Again, we can write that ourselves or we can click to write with AI. So I'll do that in this case. And the article description is a comprehensive description of what will be included in the article. So you can see that we've got, it'll explore the current landscape in 2025, highlighting latest trends, technologies, context on how web design's evolved, AI-driven personalization, accessibility, mobile-first design, dark mode, animation, no-code, low-code. Okay, so we've got a very comprehensive description here of what this article should include. I can edit that if I like to refine it to be how I want, but for this demonstration, let's go with that. So next thing we want to do is find competitors for our article. And competitors are the other pages that show up in the search engine results for our chosen keyword. So what other pages show up when we type that into the search engine? So if we click Find Competitors here, you'll see that Article Hero goes out, searches the web, gathers the data from the search engine results page and presents that back to us. And this is simple, but it's a lot of very useful information because from here we can see what businesses are ranking in the on the page that we want to rank on. We can see what titles they're using to rank on that page. We can see what their descriptions are, but also we can see the heading structure for each page as well. So we can see what headings are they including in their pages to rank on this page for this search term. So this is really useful for us because it means that we can use these headings to define our own structure later down this process as well. Okay, so next let's get some title ideas. If I click to generate some title ideas, Article Hero will go away. It'll analyze the competitors that we've just pulled. It'll look at what titles are working for them, and then it'll go ahead and it'll write some what it thinks as highly clickable titles for this blog article. Okay, so we've got our original title at the top here, State of Web Design 2025. We've got some alternatives here. I actually quite like this one, Web Design in 2025, Trends Shaping the Future. So let's see if we've got some other things down here. Web Design, UX, UI and Beyond, quite good as well. Web Design 2025, the new rules, quite like that too. Let's stick with Web Design 2025, Trends Shaping the Future. Let's go with that. So I like that as a title. So next thing we want to do is we want to create a structure. And as we discussed a moment ago, we've got the competitor structures there, which is all the headings that they use on their page. So what we'll do in this instance is we'll click to generate a structure. Article Hero will go away. It'll analyze our the search engine results page. It'll analyse the competitors, and it'll go away and put together what it feels is a strong structure based on all the things that should be included in this particular article, based on what the competitors are using and what it feels is important to cover in this article. So it just takes 20-30 seconds or so. We'll let it do its thing. Okay, so you can see we've got our structure here, and we've got our title, an introduction. We've then got all the headings, that we expect to see in a comprehensive article on this topic. So the evolution of web design from 2020 to 2025. It's an interesting angle to go. So I like that. That's given us the last 5 years of web design trends. And then we've got major web design trends. So it picks out specific things to cover. And you can see here that we've gone from H2s, heading 2s, to heading 3s. For the things that are inside each section as well. So we've got a very well structured layout for our post here. Cutting edge technologies, we talk about AI, AR, VR, no code, low code, interactive and immersive elements, accessibility, inspiration, a few examples, and then we get down to the conclusion as well. So as you can see, this is a very comprehensive structure for this blog post here, and we can go ahead and edit this if we like. We can move things around, drag and drop. We can edit. We could add some more information into any particular sections if there's specific things that we want to include in here for the writing process. But for this demonstration, I'm very happy with that as a structure. So let's move on to the next step. The next thing that's very important in a comprehensive, strong article is internal and external links. So we want to link to our internal pages and content. So in here, we can choose from our previously defined internal sources. So in the sidebar here, we can set up any internal sources that we have. This might be our website, any reports that we have, any data surveys that we've got. We can add those into our data section here so that each article can pull from those and include those sources in, or the most relevant sources for each article in there as links. So if I come in here, I've added one specific for this post called Web Design Trends Survey. So if I click here and then I click Find Internal Sources, what Article Hero does is it looks at our data and it works out exactly the most important parts that we should use, and it gives us those as a set of internal sources to use. So what I had here was a data survey report that we created, and we've got all the most relevant points from that in here. And each one can be included as a sourced article, a sourced reference, sorry. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the same for external sources. Slightly different here. What we do, we don't pull data from our internally defined content. Article Hero goes and searches the web for our key phrase. It finds relevant data, statistics, sources. So we're talking about data points, any statistics, any important references or quotes that it thinks might be useful in this article, and it presents those to us as a set so we can use those in our article. So again, this takes maybe 20-30 seconds, so let's let it do its thing and pull those in for us. Okay, here we go. So we've got a range of different external sources here. Status Web Development 2025. Expected that 2.3 billion people will access the internet daily. Okay, interesting. Mobile traffic's expected to account for 75% share. 67% of users prefer shopping on mobile-friendly sites. And what we can do here is we can click through to the actual website, DesignRush here, if we want to look at a little bit more information about them. We can click to the actual page to check, verify that it's all accurate and correct. Or we could, if we find something that we don't like or we don't want to use, then we could just click delete and we'll not use that statistic in the article when the article writing process occurs. We won't necessarily use all these external sources or internal sources, but it'll use the most relevant ones that it feels are useful to include as it's writing the article. Okay, next up we want to include relevant images and videos in our article too. So what we can do is we can search for web design here, and we get a range of different media pulled in from our media partner Unsplash. So we can come in here and we can choose what we like. That's a nice image to use. I think we could use that as well. And let's pick something else there. There we go. There we go. So we've got a few images here. Scroll back up. And we could delete those if we decide against them. And we can also choose which one we should use as a featured image there. So we've got a featured image to use for our post and a range of other images to use throughout the post as well. Let's include another one as well. Let's use that one. We can then go into videos as well. We could research for different search terms to find different images to include until we're really happy. Let's go into videos and type web design trends. And in this instance, we'll get suggested videos pulled from YouTube. So it'll go into YouTube, find things that are relevant. We can actually click to watch the videos. Make sure that we're happy with them. Any that we are happy with, we can literally click, and those will be added for consideration in the article. Again, they won't all be used, but they'll be added for consideration and added in the most appropriate places into our article. When we're happy, we can go ahead to the writing article stage. Okay, so just a little recap here. We've gone ahead and we've put our article details in. We've researched competitors from the search engine, so we know what else is ranking for the place that we want to rank, the page that we want to rank for. We've got some suggested titles. We feel like we've now got the strongest title on the particular topic. We've put together a structure. We've had the opportunity to edit it and refine it to make sure that it's a strong structure. We've got internal sources to our own content. We've got external sources to other credible sources. We've got images and we've also got videos. So now's the stage where Article Hero will go ahead and it will write the article for us. So we can choose a brand. What brand do we want to write this for? This means that you can create articles for multiple different brands. So if you work with clients or if you have different brands in your own business, you can create a brand for each different brand that you work with or that you own. And this means that each brand can have its own writing style, it can have its own information that can be referenced in articles. So it means that these articles will then be tailored specifically for each brand. In this instance, I've got a brand, ABC Corp, generic brand that I've created for this article. We can add any instructions that we want for the article. If we want Article Hero to do something specific in each article, then we can add the instructions in here and it'll be added as a separate writing process to make sure that those instructions are included in the article. But if you don't have anything specific that you want it to do outside the norm, we can just go ahead and write. So let's do that. Let's kick off the process. And something just to say here is that when we initiate the article writing process, we're not just initiating a one-shot write. What we do is we actually go through multiple different steps to create your article now. So obviously we've gone through a few steps to plan the article, but now Article Hero goes through a range of different steps. So it writes a first draft, it analyzes its first draft and gives itself suggestions. It then writes a second draft based on those suggestions. It then writes a third draft following that to improve upon it further. We can adapt the article based on your given instructions at the earlier stage. We add internal sources, we add the external sources, and we add media, and then, and only then, will you see the first draft. And what this means is you're not just getting a one-shot AI article written for you, you're actually getting a multi-step article written for you that's then going to be stronger than any one-shot article could possibly be. This process does take around 5 minutes, so you can leave the page, you can go ahead and start another article, you could create multiple plans for articles and just batch them up so that actually you've got multiple different articles being written at the same time. but you can leave, come back. So what I'm going to do is we'll cut to the stage now where the article's been written, so we can take a look and see how that looks. Okay, so the article creation process is finished and we've got our article. You can see we've got title, featured image as planned, and when we scroll down you can see we've got a nicely written article with external sources and links, some bullet points, we've got headings for each section, we've got links out to different pages, bullet points for the 2020 to 2025 section, we've got our videos with different examples in here of the different trends. We've got a very comprehensive article as our first draft. Obviously, if we want to go through here and edit, we can. We could click and we can just edit into the article. Anything we want to do, we can simply type in. Or we can use the AI tool further, so we can click and we can add a new section. So we can ask AI to write a new section for us. Or if we highlight a section here, we can click to edit edit the selected text by AI as well. So AI can add new sections for us, or it can edit existing sections. We also have in here checks, so if we want to run an AI detector check to see how much this article is likely to have been written by a human or been written by AI, we can. Or we have a plagiarism check here, both built into the system and both powered by Originality.ai, a credible third-party AI and plagiarism detector. We have our sources, we have our media, and we can save different versions of the article as well. Once we've got our article and we're happy with it, we can go in to publish our article, and then we can export directly to WordPress. I've got a WordPress account set up here in my integrations here, so I can publish directly to WordPress, or we can copy or export the text in any which way we like as well. So we can copy and paste, or we can export directly to WordPress, and other integrations coming very soon as well. So as you can see, it takes maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes to plan and prepare our article. It takes about 5 minutes for our article here to write our article, and at that point we've got a very strong article as our first draft to edit and improve, or just publish if you feel like it's ready for it as well, which is much better than the alternative of hiring an expensive writer or using an AI one-shot that comes out with a weak article proof as well. So that's the article creation process with Article Hero.